So today I'm going to discuss the top 3 mistakes that I see importers make when preparing their foreign supplier verification programs, or FSVPs. Now, as a quick refresher of what an FSVP is, the FSVP is FDA's requirement under which importers must verify that their food suppliers meet U.S. food safety standards. You can find a detailed summary of the FSVP requirement at our website link shown above. So the first of the top 3 mistakes I see importers make when they prepare their FSVPs is misunderstanding what supplier means in the term Foreign Supplier Verification Program. Now, for the purposes of the FSVP, the supplier is usually the manufacturer of the food. Or in the case of agricultural commodities, it's the farm that harvests the food. It is generally not a third-party shipper, exporter, or foreign broker that merely purchases or delivers the goods, but which does not actually manufacture or harvest the food. The second mistake that I see importers make when it comes to their FSVPs is thinking that the manufacturer is the entity responsible for the FSVP. Remember, FSVP stands for Foreign Supplier Verification Program. The FSVP regulation requires the importer to verify that their supplier meets U.S. food safety standards. So again, the FSVP is the responsibility of the company in the U.S. that imports the foods, not the foreign manufacturer. The manufacturer, on the other hand, is responsible for complying with FDA's preventive controls regulation to ensure their food products are safe for consumption. We'll discuss that requirement more in a separate video, but just remember the FSVP, again, is the responsibility of the U.S. importer. Now, while it's certainly permissible for the foreign suppliers to prepare the FSVP plans and send them to the importers if they wish, the importers must still have their own qualified individual review those plans and perform the evaluation and verification activities that are required by the FSVP regulation. Now, sometimes during an FSVP inspection, importers make the mistake of simply providing FDA copies of manufacturing records such as the manufacturer's HACCP plan, production flow charts, certificates of analysis, and other manufacturing records, thinking that that alone would satisfy FDA's inspection. But the FDA investigator who inspects your FSVPs will likely tell you that this is not good enough. The importer must provide FDA a written plan prepared by a qualified individual detailing the analysis and evaluation of all food safety related hazards, the supplier's food safety related performance history, verification activities, corrective actions, and all supporting records and documents. I know that's a lot of information, so again, please see our article detailing the FSVP requirements at the webpage shown above. And finally, the third mistake I see importers make with their FSVPs is waiting until FDA issues a notice of inspection to begin preparing their FSVPs. It may take several weeks to develop a proper and adequate FSVP, which may include lab testing, on-site audits to the manufacturing facilities, and/or other verification activities. Also, keep in mind that FDA requires that each imported food have an FSVP unless the food is exempt. Now, normally FDA will not request FSVP records at the time you import the foods, and typically the customs brokers who file entries don't submit the FSVP documentation to FDA. This leads some importers to believe that all they simply need to do is have their customs brokers declare them as the FSVP importers to have their entries cleared. But if the customs filer declares you as the FSVP importer when they file entries, FDA will eventually visit you in person to conduct an FSVP inspection. The FSVP importer is responsible for maintaining FSVP documents and records on file and then presenting them to FDA during an FSVP inspection. The inspections are random and may occur days, weeks, or months after you import the food. But you can expect FDA to eventually inspect your FSVPs. FDA investigators will select foods that you have already imported for the FSVP inspection and may not be satisfied with the FSVP records if they are dated after the times those shipments were imported, because the FSVPs were supposed to have been in place at the time you imported the foods. Now, if you do receive a notice of FSVP inspection, of course it is better to prepare the FSVPs if you haven't already. But just know that FDA could object to any FSVP documents and records that were generated or prepared after the time the goods were imported. So don't wait until FDA inspects you to prepare your FSVPs. FDA is becoming increasingly strict with enforcing the FSVP requirements and is now placing importers on import alert if they do not have adequate FSVPs. Once on import alert, FDA may detain the importer's food shipments without requiring physical exam. So email us, FDA Specialist, at the link shown above to find out how we can assist you in ensuring that you have an adequate FSVP that will pass FDA's inspection.